11, Section 2. Reliable psychology test. If intelligence is stable, characteristic that differs across people, then there should be a nearly infinite number of ways one might be able to measure it. Cross-test reliability, the extent to which two different tests thought to measure the same trait agree. If cross-test reliability is low, then either the two tests do not measure the same trait, or at least one of the tests must be unreliable in measuring that trait. The SATs and ACTs are examples of cross-test reliability. Establishing test validity. Validity. The extent to which a test actually measures the trait it is intended to measure, sometimes referred to as construct reliability. The fact that IQ tests are quite reliable is good because it makes it possible that they might also be valid. There seems to be no way to prove beyond a doubt that IQ tests measure intelligence. Face validity. Purely subjective, unscientific criterion. A test looks valid on the face of it. Establishing test validity continued. Convergent validity. The extent to which several different tests intended to measure the same psychology trait give comparable results. Content validity. The ability of a test to measure all various facets of the psychological trait in question. Criterion-related validity. The extent to which the scores on a psychological test predict someone's real-life performance based on some standard. IQ scores. Studies show when we consider the IQ scores of many people, there are statistical trends that hold up across the group. There is a correlation between IQ scores and these various outcomes, meaning they tend to vary together. Brain correlations. Correlations have been seen between performance on cognition tasks and neural activity and brain connectivity. Indicates that IQ tests indeed measure something about the brain. However, these reports indicate that brain function and structure account for only 10 to 16% of all variability in IQ scores. Health and longevity. There is strong evidence that people with high IQ scores are more likely to have a longer, healthier life. It could mean people with higher IQs are smarter about avoiding injuries and staying healthier, or people inherit genes that make them healthier that leads them to develop higher IQ scores when they grow up. The environment could also be a factor. A toxin could affect both one's IQ and their health. School performance. One of the most consistent findings is that people with high IQ scores tend to do well in school. However, people with higher IQ scores may receive a better education because of their placement in better classes. Occupation and personal income. People with a very low IQ are unlikely to go to college and far less likely to graduate from college, attend medical school, and become physicians. Educational levels affect income, but even among college graduates, people with a higher IQ also tend to have higher income. Family life. IQ scores do not predict reproductive success. People with higher IQ scores tend to get more education, and highly educated people tend to have fewer children. Happiness. People who are mentally impaired and therefore have low IQ are not as satisfied with their lives as people with higher IQ scores. It is hard to know if people with low IQs are less happy because of their low IQ or because of health problems that tend to accompany low IQ scores. Setting aside people with very low IQ scores, there is little evidence that IQ correlates with happiness or life satisfaction. General intelligence. General intelligence, or G factor, or G, a general ability that reflects on overall mental ability. Fluid intelligence, the capacity to reason logically and solve new problems independent of what you already know. Crystallized intelligence, the knowledge a person has acquired and the ability to use it appropriately. Reaction time, the amount of time it takes a subject to initiate some action after a predetermined signal. Multiple intelligences. Many psychologists believe that traditional IQ tests do not measure all important aspects of human intelligence. Multiple intelligences. Models of intelligence that extend beyond the aspects measured by traditional intelligence tests. Robert J. Sternberg proposed there are three types of intelligence: analytical, or book smarts, practical, or street smarts, and creative, or insights. Multiple intelligence continued. However, Howard Gardner disagrees and believes there are more than three, and right now he is suggesting there are eight. There's linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, naturalist, impersonal, and intrapersonal. The end.